You think people are complicated. I will tell you something sharper. Most people are patterned, but only a few of you are built to see the pattern beneath the personality. If Ashlesha touches your moon, ascendant, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Rahu, Ketu, or even the way you naturally read people, you are not here to live on the surface. You are here to detect what others miss, sense what others hide, and understand the emotional code running underneath behavior, attraction, fear, loyalty, and ambition. That is why Ashlesha is so magnetic for conversations around MBTI and Enneagram. You are not just asking what type am I, you are really asking why do I think this way, why do I feel people so deeply, why do I see motives so fast, and why do I struggle to trust what looks obvious. That is the real doorway. And if you are young, Gen Z, or still trying to understand your identity, Ashlesha energy explains why you may feel older than your age in perception but more intense than your age in emotion. Let me make this simple. Ashlesha sits in Cancer, but it is ruled by Mercury. That means inside you, emotion and intelligence are not separate. Your feelings think, your mind feels. You remember tone, pause, tension, intention, and hidden meaning. You can walk into a room and sense the temperature before anyone says a word. You can hear a sentence and catch what was not spoken. You can meet a person and immediately feel whether they are safe, performative, insecure, manipulative, or deeply real. That is your gift. But every gift becomes dangerous when you do not understand it. The same insight that helps you read people can make you overread them. The same sensitivity that makes you emotionally intelligent can make you defensive. The same persuasive power that makes you influential can turn into subtle control when you feel unsafe. So Ashlesha is not just depth, it is depth with responsibility. This is why Ashlesha often resonates with Enneagram Type 5, Type 4, and Type 6. If you relate to Type 5, you want to understand before you trust. You observe, withdraw, study, decode, and build inner mastery. You are not impressed by noise. You are impressed by truth. That is Ashlesha. You want the hidden structure behind the behavior. If you relate to Type 4, your emotional reality is layered, private, and difficult to reduce into simple labels. You feel different because you actually are processing more than most people notice. That is also Ashlesha. If you relate to Type 6, your nervous system is scanning for safety, betrayal, consistency, and loyalty. You read emotional threat early, and you do not hand over trust casually. That too is Ashlesha. Now look at the MBTI connection. INTJ makes sense because Ashlesha sees patterns, motives, future outcomes, and hidden leverage. INFJ makes sense because Ashlesha senses emotional undercurrents, symbolism, and psychological truth with unusual depth. ENTP makes sense because Mercury gives verbal speed, tactical intelligence, persuasion, and the ability to outthink a room before the room realizes what happened. So if you are someone who keeps getting typed as intense, strategic, private, insightful, persuasive, or hard to read, Ashlesha may be one of the reasons your personality feels bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside. And this matters for your life choices. Ashlesha is not random intensity. It wants a field where perception matters. That is why careers linked with psychology, counseling, strategy, branding, research, investigation, writing, consulting, political communication, healing, therapy, or any profession requiring emotional intelligence and mental precision fit so naturally. You do well where people, motives, systems, and timing matter. You struggle where everything is shallow, fake, noisy, or emotionally disconnected. Now let us go deeper. If your ascendant is in Ashlesha, people feel your presence before they understand you. You may seem calm, but there is always something watchful behind your eyes. You are reading energy, not just words. If your moon is in Ashlesha, your emotional body is highly receptive. You remember how people made you feel, not just what they did. You absorb atmospheres. You need boundaries, or you will carry emotional residue that is not even yours. If Mercury is in Ashlesha, your words can heal, persuade, expose, or strategically redirect. You may be brilliant at language, framing, therapy, teaching, writing, or psychological analysis. If Venus is in Ashlesha, love becomes deep, magnetic, intimate, and psychologically charged. You do not want shallow chemistry. You want emotional truth, but you may also fear betrayal and test people before surrendering. If Mars is in Ashlesha, your anger is rarely simple. You may not explode immediately. You may coil first, watch first, calculate first. This can make you powerful in a strategy, but dangerous when resentment builds in silence. If Rahu is in Ashlesha, your hunger for intensity becomes amplified. You may become obsessed with hidden knowledge, influence, sexuality, psychology, taboo subjects, or emotionally powerful relationships. If Ketu is in Ashlesha, you may already understand the hidden layers of people, but feel detached from ordinary emotional bonding. You can become wise very early, but also hard to reach. Now, let us talk houses, because the house shows where this intelligence expresses itself. In the first house, Ashlesha becomes your identity. You come across as private, perceptive, magnetic, and emotionally strategic. In the second house, it affects speech and values. Your words carry force. You may earn through teaching, counseling, consulting, or persuasive communication. In the third house, Ashlesha becomes a communicator, writer, marketer, negotiator, or storyteller who knows exactly how messages land. In the fourth house, the emotional depth moves inward. Home, memory, family patterns, and inner life become psychologically intense. In the fifth house, creativity becomes symbolic, romantic, and deeply intelligent. In the sixth house, Ashlesha can be excellent for diagnostics, healing, strategy, crisis response, competition, and problem solving. In the seventh house, relationships become karmic classrooms around trust, influence, intimacy, and emotional honesty. In the eighth house, this nakshatra becomes especially powerful for research, healing, occult study, transformation, and trauma work. In the ninth house, it seeks hidden wisdom behind belief systems. In the 10th house, it brings strategic public power and career influence. In the 11th house, it reads networks, alliances, and group dynamics with sharp precision. In the 12th house, it turns inward toward dreams, the subconscious, spirituality, solitude, and emotional release. So what is the lesson for you? It is this. You cannot use your sensitivity only to protect yourself. At some point, you must use it to master yourself. If you do not, Ashlesha can become secrecy, emotional looping, passive control, suspicion, and manipulation. But if you mature, it becomes emotional intelligence, intuitive leadership, transformational communication, and deep relational wisdom. That is why Ashlesha youth often feel misunderstood in school, in dating, in friendships, and even in family. People may tell you that you are too intense, too private, too guarded, too observant, too complicated. I want you to hear me clearly. Your intensity is not the problem. Your lack of training with that intensity is the problem. Once you understand how your pattern works, your life changes. You stop attracting chaos through unconscious emotional testing. You stop second guessing your perception. You stop shrinking your intelligence to make shallow people comfortable, and you start using your gifts in the right direction. You start choosing better careers because you understand that you are built for depth. You start choosing better relationships because you realize chemistry without trust will drain you. You stop glamorizing mystery for its own sake and start building emotional honesty. You stop reading everyone else while avoiding your own shadow. That is the real upgrade. Ashlesha does not become powerful when it can read other people. It becomes powerful when it can read itself without flinching. So if this feels like you, do not reduce yourself to a single label. Use MBTI as a language. Use Enneagram as a mirror. Use Nakshatra as your deeper pattern map. When you put them together, you stop asking, what am I? And start asking, how do I use what I am well? That is the question that changes everything. And if you are serious about understanding your emotional wiring, your hidden strengths, your relationship patterns, your career direction, and the deeper reason you think, feel, and respond the way you do, get in touch with me for a deep personality reading. I will help you see what is driving you beneath the surface, what your chart reveals about your psychological design, and how to turn your intensity into clarity, maturity, purpose, and real power. Your pattern is not a problem. It is your advantage once you know how to read it. If you are a teen or in your 20s, this matters even more. Right now, identity can feel like a performance, relationships can feel confusing, and the pressure to look chill while feeling everything can be exhausting. Ashlesha teaches you that being perceptive is not weird, being selective is not cold, and needing emotional depth is not a flaw. But it also warns you not to weaponize silence, not to test love through mind games, and not to hide your vulnerability behind cleverness. Your next level begins when your insight becomes clean, your voice becomes honest, and your emotional power becomes conscious. And when you stop fearing your own depth, you stop chasing people who cannot meet it. You become clearer, calmer, sharper, and deadlier to old patterns that once ruled you before.